There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of Capes Lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Hello and welcome to another week of the Capes and Lunatics. Episode 31. It's a Friday night, so some of us are drunk and some of us are just high on power because we don't do anything else, Charlie Esser. I am Phil. I am clean and sober. And anyway, to change the subject.
Unfortunately.
Wishing she wasn't is that anti-hero herself. Former
Little Hellfire.
Little Hellfire.
Yeah, and you know, Philip, the most dangerous drug of all is power. And I am Charlie, the Professor Esser.
In the other corner.
Wearing my supervillain green. Oh, I lost my logo. I want to go back up. Guys,
so does the Hulk count? The Hulk not count? Because I came in at the tail end of that conversation.
The Hulk is a villain.
Okay.
Who told you the Hulk was a hero?
He just misunderstood.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm a girl. He's just misunderstood. I can fix him.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so the Trump goes.
Okay,
anyway.
Betty. Yeah, ask Betty Ross how well that works. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Oh,
right.
It's the latest guys for TV, so it's gonna be some random nonsense. I'm assuming.
Well, we'll start with news, and the first thing is last night Charlie Esser and I did another YouTube exclusive video. We talked about the Disney Fox merger, and we talked a few little things about it on Super Connectivity right before this show. But Lilith, the public hasn't heard your thoughts on the Disney Fox 21st Century Fox merger.
It is a sign of the apocalypse, and with net neutrality situation, I mean seriously, it's like we're about to be a dystopian society. You guys don't even know.
Well, we were just discussing. I mean, Disney has like the majority share in Hulu, so hey, there's their streaming service.
I'm sorry, about to be. About to be.
See, everyone's worried about Trump.
You're such a cockeyed optimist, Lilith. About to be. Oh, goodness.
I mean, like where everybody else knows. Like, I've known it's been a dystopian society for a while, but this is where everybody starts to feel it and realize they're not living in the capital. You're living in District 13, baby. Open your eyes.
Our only hope.
Let's ride the wave, man.
Hey, our only hope to save humanity is The Simpsons, because, I mean, they've been predicting stuff left and right over the years.
They
Trump's
predicted
presidency, Disney buying Fox.
But they also predicted Lisa Simpson as president after Trump.
And,
well, you know what?
So what, Yardley Smith is going to be our next president?
No, but there is a very interesting, there's a very interesting trend going on in politics. Well, maybe it's mostly local politics, but they've been booting out a lot of the older white gentlemen in favor for queer women. So maybe we could see. Yeah,
I'm telling you,
maybe
man.
After Trump comes a woman in a cold suit, because we are in a dystopian society, and that is another trope about dystopian societies. Once men have ruined everything, women in pantsuits come in and clean up the mess and control everything.
Kate McKinnon for Speaker of the House.
I'm fine with it, man.
Meryl Streep, damn it.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I welcome our gyno overlords. I'm sorry, overladies. As I've always said, the ticking time bomb beneath the patriarchy has always been 51% of the population. They finally, let's face it, women are bad at math. So they didn't realize that until just recently, that, wait a minute, 51 is the bigger number. Now they're taking over. That's fine by me. We had a good run, man. We had a great run. Don't deny it. We had a great run. Welcome, our gyno overlord.
Charlie's been waiting for the day he will become a sexual concubine to our female overlord.
Yes. I'm here, ladies.
Oh, God.
Grab me the way you like. I don't mind. I'm one of those guys.
Penitent, Philip. Goodness, is that a record? I think that's a record. Off the rails.
Hey, Friday nights, man. We do Saturday mornings. We're only half awake. Friday, I even got a nap after work, so hey.
I'm hopped up on the quill, man.
Robo Trip in there.
The Dayquil, the NyQuil.
Charlie's rocking that combo, that mixed drink, the NyQuil apple juice.
No, you can't take NyQuil with anything, man. NyQuil, that is some serious stuff.
That will put you out. Yes.
You take Dayquil in the morning, and then at the end of the night, you wind up with other things, with your Irish penicillin.
But so Lilith is predicting the end of the world with this.
But no, as a Marvel fan, you have to feel good. I mean, we're bringing the Fantastic Four back into the fold. We're presumably bringing X-Men back into the fold, and I saw that they promised Deadpool will stay rated R. Mm-hmm. It better.
Well,
but do you know what that means, Lilith? Do you know what that means? Because you care about yourself, not poor Deadpool. He can never be with his one true love, Spider-Man. Because Sony won't let Spider-Man be in an R-rated film.
Oh.
So he's going to be
maybe we can't have the white Spider-Man. I'll settle for Miles Morales and Deadpool if that I'm just saying.
Ben Riley.
I don't know if Deadpool's ever accepted Miles Morales as his Spider-Man. You can't just put on the costume and say you're Spider-Man.
I mean, movies are movies. They don't really hold true to any canon for the most part. So
True that.
Oh my God! Can you just see Deadpool getting in Miles
Morales? Also,
Deadpool getting in Miles Morales' face and going, cultural appropriation!
Oh my God, now I want it. I want it so bad.
Yeah, well, though not for nothing, Miles Morales is underage, and Deadpool don't swing that way.
Well, so is MCU Spider-Man.
I was going to say, yeah.
Well, yeah, but Tobey Maguire isn't. I think Deadpool would only be interested in Tobey. In fact, I hope Tobey gets a cameo in Deadpool 2. And just have Ryan be totally... I don't know why, man, but I just feel like there's something between us.
Toby and Andrew Garfield.
No more Andrew British Spider-Man, damn it! No more British superheroes.
Don't speak his name.
It's the British invasion, Lilith. I mean, come on.
That's why no offense to Henry Cavill, but I've been upset about that since forever. So.
But Henry Cavill's British?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Or Scottish or something over there. I don't know. He ain't American.
He's not Brandon Routh. That's my Superman.
That's my Adam. That's my Ray Palmer. That's all I can say about that.
Now the brains of the team.
Oh Lord, help us all.
Yeah, well, that's
by process of elimination.
That's why, because they're saying an Arrowverse, and here's my little lines on the wall.
It's all connected.
They say it's an Arrowverse hero coming in. Now they did the little misdirect with Killer Frost. It's not Killer Frost. They're not bringing in another white woman into. First off, they've already got 3 women on the cast. They're not going to add another white woman after they take off the one black man and one old guy. Who they're going to bring in, because I think it will be someone from Arrow, which does mean it probably won't be Wally West.
It's Wally West. I'm sorry, it is.
Well, I think it's going to be Mr. Terrific. I think we'll
have to get rid of him. I hope you're right, but I'm thinking.
Well, you know what, Lilith? And where do they stick heroes that nobody likes?
It's not that nobody likes anybody. Everybody loves everybody on Legends. It's just that there was no room in the budget for them. And all the fans were like, hey, when are we going to... Well, now here's your own show of the Misfits.
I'm just saying, Mr. Terrific was really into seeing future technology.
And, I mean he...
Take publicity with him, because I don't watch Legends.
The advantage of Mr. Terrific over Wally is, the only special effect you need for Curtis is the T-spheres.
Yeah. And
how about, so... T-spheres? I guess.
Here's the thing. They need a guy that can fix the ship. So you need an engineer.
Oh, yeah, because Jax is...
Wally's an engineer, people. Did we all forget that? He's supposed to be super smart, too. We just forgot that because he got obsessed with being Kid Flash. But he is actually pretty smart.
He does drive fast cars. So you could... Well, my actual idea is you should actually bring in both Mr. Terrific and Wally West.
It's too many black guys. Too many black guys.
Too.
I'm just saying, per the CW rule for the diversified cast, that's too many black guys.
Yeah, plus this year is hashtag feminism, so...
Well, maybe they will actually be able to write something that is actually about feminism now that a certain someone's gone. I can't wait to see the scripts that don't, and now that a certain someone is gone. I'm just wondering if that was the problem. Yes.
But you know what I really want to see? This is my pitch. Mick goes back with Citizen Cold to Earth X. They do another spinoff called Battle for Earth X. Where you have Mick and Citizen Cold and the Ray fighting Nazis to retake the planet from.
I said that's an animated CW show, a CW seed animated show. All for it. We can't have live action. We can't afford it.
No, I'd watch it. I'll even tweet that for you. I'll do that with my 12 followers. I got like a half dozen followers. I have almost as many as Tristan. But I'll go for an animated series. That's fine. I think that's Mick and Cold should go back to that universe, and then you get Ray be like, oh, so who's Mick? Is Mick like your guy now? I said, no, me and Mick, we're just friends. Oh,
they're platonic life partners. Come on.
Yeah,
hetero life mates.
Everyone needs one.
Citizen Cold and Heatwave, the Jay and Silent Bob of the CW.
Finally, Kevin Smith can have something on the CW.
Yeah, so anyway, but that's my hope. I would love to see that story. Because when you think about it, so they took out the General and the Führer. Who's fighting for control of Earth X? Is it Lena Luthor? Is it Lex Luthor? Is it Cousin Cal?
It's Quentin Lance.
Yeah. Since they're not doing anything with poor Paul Blackthorne, why
not? The evil Earth X version of Sarah's father. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, poor man's got relegated to Sarah and Laurel's father. Poor man.
Or hey, how about who's that guy?
Because I don't think we ever saw him anymore like head knocks.
Plot twist: when the Wind guy was from Supergirl was a plant all along, and he just wanted to blow it up, and now he's the Führer. Who knows? Yeah.
Oh no. Who's the guy that Wonder Woman killed in
which one?
The Justice League Detroit, or guy who was mind controlling people?
Oh, Max Lord.
Max Lord.
We had him on Supergirl too, so yeah, that could be plausible.
Yeah, he was in Supergirl season 1. Yeah.
Max.
Oh yeah, that was the guy that played the Doctor in Twilight, and also Peter Facinelli, who was married to Jenny Garth, and he was also in a TV show Fastlane on Fox. Yep. 90s kid.
Max Lord is the new. So I mean, this show writes itself. Bring in any character you want, and because it's the Earth X version. You could put in a Superman, a Batman, a Wonder Woman, whatever you want. Get Adrian Palicki back to play Wonder Woman for a season.
You shut your mouth. Do it. We never speak of that Wonder Woman ever. Talk about your hashtag feminism gone awry. I hate that pilot. I hate everything about that thing.
I don't know who decided that Ally McBeal was the model for Wonder Woman.
And let me tell you that the script for the pilot, the original script was way worse than what they actually shot for the pilot. I will never forget that Single Ladies was supposed to be going on in the invisible plane. I will never forgive that.
Hashtag
never
forget.
Wait, the invisible plane?
Yeah.
I missed the invisible plane in the Wonder Woman movie. Was I the only one who missed the invisible plane in the Wonder Woman movie?
Yeah, you were.
I think they were worried about the kids buying it. They'd be like, oh, she's just sitting there? If the plane's visible, why can we see her?
Fun fact, in DC Superhero Girl, she does actually have an invisible plane for some reason.
Nice.
She should. It's a Wonder Woman. Honestly, the invisible plane's been around since the 40s.
Yeah, I know, and it's a terrible idea even then.
Oh, yes.
The idea is it's powered by psychic energy.
I know what it is. It's still awful.
Look who you're talking to.
Well, I mean, as a huge Wonder Woman fan, I can still say something's awful, and I've never liked it, never cared for it, and that's why they've slowly phased it out. Nobody was responsive to it.
I was responsive, Lilith. I was.
Well, you always have Wonder Woman 77.
Yeah. I don't know. I have my little bar. I lost my bar. Oh.
Any more news?
Yeah.
This podcast is not sponsored by Viagra or Cialis.
Okay, moving right along.
Oh wait, we were talking about news. Did everybody see? I think I put the link up. They put up another picture from the Titan, the upcoming one. Is it Teen Titan show? Hawk and Dove, yeah.
Hawk and Dove, yeah.
It's comic accurate, but.
Can we actually take a moment to say Hawk and Dove who now?
No, that would be you would be the only person on the podcast.
Well, no, but among you two, yes. And I know who Hawk and Dove is, but it's like, hey, it's Hawk and Dove.
When you can't have Roy, you can't have Donna, you can't have Cyborg, who do you get? I mean, I would have preferred Bumblebee, but
yeah. But are they actual like team members? Because I thought it said something about them being recurring characters.
Team members, and
for what it's worth, anything you want to say? Both Hawk and Dove were male originally. The female Dove came later. So
yes, of course it did. Although it'd be the perfect time to bring that back and still make them as a pairing. I'm just saying it could happen.
Are they supposed to be like brothers and sisters or something?
That's too normal. You know, everything's gotta be sexual.
That ain't the ultimate universe, Lilith. That ain't gonna fly.
Oh no, the guys were brothers, but yeah, Dove. The female Dove wasn't related to him, was it?
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, thank goodness then.
We can't have any more
queens in that situation. The DC universe. It's all a cauldron.
Nobody has a toilet, so what do you expect?
What?
Exactly.
Oh yeah, the toilet.
Well, we all know that Dove eventually turns evil. Come on, we all read that comic books legend.
Well, I mean, we've already tried birth people with Hawkman and Hawkgirl. I'm just saying, do we really need some more bird-themed heroes here?
Well, we have Robin in it, I guess.
True.
Not Nightwing, Robin.
Although he is technically old enough at this point, from what I've gathered.
Maybe they'll transition him. Maybe the second or third season or something.
If that movie ever comes to fruition, they're like, "Hey."
Yeah.
Warner's get that Nightwing movie into production. I mean, look what Disney's doing now. That's what I said last night on our YouTube exclusive. I'm like, when they announced that Disney Fox deal, I wish I could have been sitting at Warner's when they were just like, oh crap, now what?
Well, honestly, I don't worry that much about it. I think that
you're not a stockholder.
Here's what I'm going to tell you. I think Warner's list of worries, I don't think Marvel getting the Fox characters back is particularly on their radar of problems they're facing today.
Yeah, everything's a mess over there right now. So.
Right now, they're just trying to make sure that Lilith likes Aquaman. Right now, that's like
Newsflash?
We can't lose Lilith. We can't lose Lilith. We need Aquaman to be good somehow.
And especially now that Marvel has everything back in house,
Can we get a Namor?
I was gonna say we're gonna get a Namor movie.
I'm jumping ship to get Namor. I'm just like, bye DC. Never
Imperious Rex.
Now, did they have Black Manta in the Justice League movie?
Mm-mm.
No.
Is he the villain in Aquaman?
Yeah, he is.
He is the villain in Aquaman.
Isn't he what? Isn't it Ocean Master and Black Manta?
I just know it is Black Manta for sure.
Okay.
I think Ocean Master might be like at the end, but I know they're focusing on Black Manta, unfortunately. Again.
What's wrong with Black Manta?
He's overdone. He's like the Joker.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see. Well, okay, here's what I'll say about Black Manta. They may have used him a lot. I don't think he's overdone. I don't think people have a set view of what the Black Manta is.
Aquaman fan, hopefully people that are like going to the Aquaman movie or like have been like dreaming about this like me for their whole life, and it's just like, oh damn, it's Black Manta.
Oh, Black Manta. Oh, my Lanta.
No, not for nothing. Black Manta wasn't even black until like the 90s.
I know, trust me, I know.
I mean, it's just like, that's the first time they actually took off his mask. It was like, oh, you actually are a black guy. Okay.
They're like, hey, this is a comic book.
In Justice League, though, I was just like, Young Justice. I was just like,
They're like, wait a minute, this is a comic book. You have black in your name. You have to be a black guy.
Because it's.
Well, no, I just always assume. You know, well, no, but you know what my theory is? I think that the new Aqualad is well, because they say he's his son. I think he's that Black Manta and Mara had a little fling.
And bring back Caldor. He was the best Aqualad. Sorry, Garth.
I'm just saying. But, you know, that's, you know, fan theories. But I think you can do a lot with Black Manta. If nothing else, just find out why the heck he's using super technology to breathe underwater and be a pirate. You know?
It's funny you don't swim, Charlie. Don't you know we don't swim good?
Oh,
my wife swims. So
and that's where they got it from. I can almost promise you in the writer's room somewhere that's where that came from.
Yikes. Well, if you're getting staticky.
He's in the water all the time. He just got a freaking aqua lung that lets him breathe underwater, which I think would be like worth way more than whatever he's stealing off a ship.
If they sold their inventions like Reed Richards, you know what I'm saying? It'd be everybody be a billionaire.
Well, exactly. I mean, but you see that's why like Tony Stark and Reed Richards lose their money and gain their money back like every other couple issues, because money is like meaningless to them because they just invent something new.
But doesn't also speak to the selfishness of the villain? It's like it's for me, nobody else can have it, kind of thing too.
Exactly. Because these villains are they're a little too narcissistic, you know.
So Tony Stark's a villain?
Well,
no, he's a good guy because he sells his products. There's stuff he's not going to sell, but he is like, no, man, I invented free energy. Let's put it into cars. Let's like have a universe that runs on arc reactors. I'm going to put a little arc reactor in your phone. Your phone now doesn't need to be charged, and it has 1 billion miles of range.
If only Tony Stark was real.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is getting close, just so we're clear nerds.
Yeah, not for nothing, man. I think most industrialists would be like that if they invented something great. Because the idea is that most industrialists don't become supervillains because they may be evil. They're not supervillains.
Okay.
There's evil in the supervillainy. Supervillainy is I'm going to use my technology to build a steam-powered suit. You know, Edison never built an electric suit to fight Tesla.
As far as we know.
No. Let me put it this way: if he did, then Tesla would have died a lot sooner than he did. Because Edison knew that you had to make a product that people wanted.
That's right.
And as I always say, you say what you want about Tesla. Tesla, the company, sells direct current products. Because Edison knew the only way to make electricity good for the people is to make it direct current so that you can be off the grid. He put that inefficiency in there because he wanted it off the grid so that people could be free. Edison forever.
Yeah, and then they're gonna be then you can pay them, taking it back to super connectivity. Yeah, then you can pay them a Bitcoin.
Oh, you guys had a conversation about Bitcoin without me?
It wasn't planned. I just mentioned something about Bitcoin, and then he was off to the races.
Is that where that Facebook post came from? Was that before or after?
Yeah, well, that was the concept, is that, you know, because here's the thing. So one of the selling points here's the Bitcoin is unhackable, they say, which sounds like the Titanic is unsinkable. You know, but what makes Bitcoin theoretically unhackable is that it is actually completely traceable, which means all of the criminal activity you're doing with Bitcoin is completely traceable back to you one subpoena away. Now they've created other technology that is theoretically truly untraceable. But if it's truly untraceable, it is no longer unhackable. Because what makes something unhackable is that you can trace, there's a paper trail to say where it came from and where it went to. Then there isn't that paper trail, which means that all I need to do is reproduce the same ones and zeros, and now I can resell that coin. So basically, cryptocurrency is a joke. But it's a joke people are buying into. It is way worse than tulips, because you know what? Theoretically, you could always eat tulips.
No.
Beanie Babies actually did keep you warm at night. Bitcoin, it's ones and zeros on your computer.
Well, maybe I'll save it for our conspiracy theory chat whenever we decide to hear it, because I have a whole conspiracy theory about Bitcoin
that was created by the government to convince drug dealers to use this cryptocurrency that was totally traceable, even though they said it was untraceable, just so that they could then create cases against them.
That's not a conspiracy theory. That's true, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay, well, I don't know. We're defining conspiracy here.
It was the CIA, I tell you.
Although that brings me to my point that I want to say, as I've always said, the character of Ox, if they ever put the enforcers in Spider-Man, he should be an unschooled intellectual, hopped up on conspiracy theories, and talking about the secret invasion of alien lizard people. That everyone just dismisses as crazy. But he was right.
Don't give the David Icke followers any ammunition, okay?
Well, I mean, they're just stealing the scrolls. Basically, it was something that Stan Lee came up with, probably after he saw the thing.
But
yeah.
Sorry, you mentioned Marvel. No, you know what? No, you know what Charlie? You know what Charlie mentioned to me that I didn't think of until he said it. Now, with this Disney Fox merger, can write a grave injustice. Now, Captain America's shield can be adamantium and vibranium again. Yes.
Okay, Captain America's shield is not vibranium and adamantium.
It's a mix. Yes, it is.
No, it is.
Go downstairs and get some comics, some old comics. Don't dare me. Adamantium
Captain America's shield.
Until this whole.
It is a vibranium steel alloy, which became the inspiration for Type 2 adamantium, which is the adamantium used mostly in the Marvel Universe. Because they realized that they messed up the whole concept afterward.
Little retcon.
Yeah. Because that's why there's like Type 1 adamantium. Actually, I don't even think Captain America's shield is actually even Type 1. I think it's actually supposed to be something more than Type 1 adamantium. I think it's actually supposed to be adamantine, which is what Hercules' mallet is. Adamantine.
To the nerd.
Who, Homer Simpson?
You act like that's a derogatory term.
It's not an insult around here. It's a compliment.
No, nerd is like queer nowadays. You're queer. You're a nerd. It's fine. You're a queer nerd if you want to be. I consider myself a queer nerd. Honestly.
You love women way too much to be a queer nerd.
Doesn't mean I like other things. I don't like other things too.
Oh God, Friday nights with my boys. I swear.
I'm just saying. No, I mean, honestly, yes. I actually consider myself bisexual, even though no man has ever wanted to traipse the light fantastic with me. That doesn't mean I'm not desirous of men. It just means that, path of least resistance.
Phil, you and your sound effects. Oh,
I don't think this is news, but yeah.
So how was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
What?
How was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Oh yeah, last Friday. Charlie, you're the super fan. What did you still think it's coming up this season?
Oh, I think it's pretty good. It's set in the future. I was a little disappointed that it wasn't Fitz trying to contact them from the past when they heard the radio frequency. But aside from that, it's pretty cool.
But no, Lilith, what else I was saying last night, giving away all our YouTube exclusive stuff. But no, at the end of this season, how they can get back to the present now that we got the Fox merger, Doctor Doom's time platform.
Oh, you think that they wouldn't do that though?
Why not? You got it now. Play with it.
Well, they actually don't have it yet.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say that probably won't take effect until for next season.
Yeah, but I mean, if they did, they probably won't. But even if they did throw something like that in, you really think anyone's going to sue at this point?
Well, unless it doesn't go through.
Yeah.
What they may do is they have
rich white men. Why wouldn't it go through?
So because one rich white man wants to be richer than the other rich white man.
Well, because there actually are
and the mouse
theoretical regulatory agencies that actually oversee these kinds of big mergers. And they can, and for what it's worth, right now they're very capricious.
That's what she said.
And if someone feels that Fox, who is the current potentate's voice arm, shouldn't be giving away so much, maybe there will be some efforts to push back. I don't know.
I see it as smooth sailing because just bring on the apocalypse. Just bring it on.
You know what? You know what actual apocalypse means? This is a very fast. The term apocalypse, the term revelation, actually means, well, as we know with Revelation, which is why they stopped calling it the Book of Apocalypse. It used to be called the Book of Apocalypse, and they called it Revelation because apocalypse actually means revelation. It means to reveal something.
Yeah, that the end is coming. Just bring it.
But the actual Book of Revelation isn't about the end. It's about the actual end, which is that things work out okay.
Just got to get through the muck.
You got to get through the muck, and we're getting through the muck right now. That's the truth of it, is we're getting through the muck. There's a lot of muck, and we're getting through it.
Yeah, it's a lot of muck.
There's a lot of muck, but you know what? It's not like muck is new.
It's not.
Really, Philip. This isn't, as I've said.
Hey, we got to censor ourselves. So yeah, the muck's getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah. One of the happier things, but yeah, I like that they're playing with time with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That sounds cool. I can't wait to binge it.
I just wonder, are they gonna? You think, Charlie? You think towards the end of the season they're gonna tie it into Infinity War? Maybe.
Don't they almost have to? Isn't that their thing that keeps them afloat now? Is that not the truth anymore?
I don't think they really haven't tied it in since what, Thor: The Dark World, or
that was the last tie-in. Everyone got mad because they were doing cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, that's exactly what S.H.I.E.L.D. would do in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, Agent Coulson isn't going to shoot an elf. That's not his job. Their job is, there was a major occurrence. Let's try and clean it up and cover it up. That's what S.H.I.E.L.D. does. And of course, during Guardians of the Galaxy, they were all in the framework. So that was probably Talbot's guys, cleaning up the Dairy Queen.
Coulson's not going to shoot an elf, especially around Christmas time.
Well, not for nothing, but that's just not his pay grade. Not for nothing. Coulson is actually a balding middle-aged man. People forget this about Coulson. Clark Gregg, I love him. I love him as an actor, but he's a balding middle-aged man.
What are you saying? He's having trouble getting his bar up?
No, I'm saying he's a balding middle-aged man. I got a full head of hair.
So you could be a bald. I mean, how much? I mean, as long as you're trained, how much effort does it take to shoot a gun at an elf?
I don't know. Are elves particularly pervious to bullets?
That's what I'm saying. How hard is it to shoot?
I mean, it's not like they're Amazons, which is like bullets are their one weakness, which weirdly enough apparently is comic book accurate. But the fact that Jessica Jones isn't bulletproof is always weird too.
Well, I mean,
it's because they have a vagina. Just saying.
Possibly. I mean, maybe that's their idea. I don't know. I mean, the idea of the super strong, not bulletproof person. I mean, it does exist.
But without a healing factor,
I mean, I guess it's like super strength doesn't always necessarily come with invulnerability.
Yeah, and the argument is that bullets do hurt, but they do less damage. But a bullet to the heart is still a bullet to the heart.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt those Amazons fell a little too fast from those bullets in the movie. That's all I'm saying.
And Lilith, Jessica Jones has a... Okay.
Oh, is vagina not allowed?
That's a bad word, Phil. I think you can actually say the word vagina.
I don't know. Ask Rob. I don't know.
Well, if I remember from my quantum leap when he jumped into the body of Dr. Ruth Westheimer,
Oh no.
There was a whole conversation about the fact that using the words penis and vagina were okay because they were the scientific terms.
Yes.
I remember that episode. It was a great episode.
Dr. Ruth, one of the best snipers in the Israeli army.
According to her. I'm sure she was a very good
Dr. Ruth's show.
I'm sure she was a very good sniper. I'm sure she killed
nothing
many
else,
men
you wouldn't
and
see her.
women.
Nothing else, you wouldn't see her coming. I mean, she's what, 4 foot tall?
She's a good sniper. It makes her very easy to conceal.
Yeah, exactly.
And, sniping is all about concealing and waiting, which is why, really, the Punisher probably not the best sniper. Despite what the TV show tells you.
Have you guys ever watched that show Shooter with Ryan Phillippe?
No.
I was just like, how the hell? Poor Ryan Phillippe.
No, the problem with sniping is that it is a very patience game. I don't think the Punisher has patience like that.
Oh, speaking of that, did anyone finish the Punisher?
I've only seen one episode.
I'm still stuck on episode 9.
I just finished the last. I just finished the last one this week.
Mm-hmm.
Is it weird they have a character named Dinah? Like, right?
There's a character named what? Oh, Dinah, or is it Dina?
Is it?
We were having that conversation the other day. Well, no, Maz and I were having that conversation the other day. What is it, Dinah or Dina?
I thought she spelled it with an H, so I would say Dinah.
I would say Dinah too, but Maz said it was Dina.
You say.
And Maz is actually like
tomato.
I'm kind of inclined to go with his take on it.
Tomato, let's call.
Potato. Now I want tater tots and a chimichanga. Wait, this isn't Wade's World. My fault. Sorry.
It's always Wade's World. It's Wade's World. We just live.
And we're just living in it, damn straight.
Oh my lord! Like Luca's his new favorite thing is the nacho chips from Taco Bell.
You mean just the cheese and the chips?
Yeah, well, he has to eat gluten free. That's like one of the only gluten free things at Taco Bell. But he's like, yesterday he's like, let's go get something to eat. I'm like, what do you want? He's like, Taco Bell chips.
Taco Bell chips are gluten free?
Yeah, the nacho.
How are the chips not gluten free, but the shells are? How are the chips gluten free, but the shells?
Is that the same tortillas?
I guess they're not the same. No.
I guess they're not. Okay.
I'm sure.
I'm going to research your parent.
Maybe the nacho chips just come in a bag, and maybe they come from 2 different sources. I don't know.
So when I go gluten free, I can keep that on my list. Good to know.
I'll give you a list if you want a list. I'll give you a list.
All right, well, that's good. And you know what? And processed cheese food is good for all.
Says your arteries never.
He's young. He's got arteries.
Everything in moderation. Cheese is good for you.
Was that the only thing?
Oh no! You know what it is? I just realized the meat in most Taco Bell products actually has filler, cereal filler, and it's a cereal filler that has
meat.
So probably the shell.
It's meat filling, technically. If you ever seen the box, and that's what's scary.
No, yeah, no, it's meat. It's a meat filling. It's fine.
I get the chicken. I can't eat beef from Taco Bell at all. Ever.
See, when I was a kid, meatloaf has cereal fillers. It has oatmeal. It has cornflakes. That absorbs the fat, adds to the flavor. I don't see that as a bad thing. When people started saying cereal fillers were a bad thing, it's like, why? I eat cereal for breakfast. How is that a bad thing?
But I didn't know that it was a cereal filler. I thought it was actually like some weird chemical compound with like silica or something like that. Like something really weird and random that's barely FDA approved or something like that. I thought that was the big deal about that when people were out.
It's just grain based. It's basically corn flour.
Oh,
but when you mix the corn flour in to the meat, that's how you form your gluten. That's why I'm the professor.
I mean, that's how it's drink when you're drunk, I guess. It just soaks everything right up. I feel like I'm on Fuller House. Thank you, Bill. You made my dream come true.
What, living in a sitcom?
No, Fuller House is my jam. Like low key, like it's the background noise that I love. I miss Full House so much.
Oh, did you see John Stamos is going to be a dad for the first time at, what is he, like 54 or something? Or
I can't believe it's the first one he's going to admit to. Hey-oh!
Wait, him and Mystique never had a kid?
No.
Oh no,
Okay.
you're right. But her and Jerry O'Connell have a baby together, right?
Oh, good for Jerry O'Connell.
They have like one or
so
two.
We can do Sliders the Next Generation now.
No. We're gonna do Lean on Me. No, not Lean on Me. What's the Stand by Me? We're gonna do Stand by Me the next.
My Secret Identity.
Yes.
God, he was so nerdy.
He's was an adequate actor in a lot of good shows.
Well, I mean, I'm all for giving your family work and everything, but I'm still mad about Sliders when they made him his real life brother on the TV show. Never forget it.
Yeah, well, I'm
almost at the time where I have to do my yearly Sliders rewatch, and I'm not over it from last year yet.
You do a yearly rewatch?
Sliders rewatch every year?
I do.
Well, we should like do something about that, because I would watch Sliders with you.
Do an episode where we watch it and do a live commentary.
I mean, that's like 48 hours of shows.
Great. I love the pilot, but the finale, like we could do the pilot and the finale, and it's just like, how the hell did this happen? That's basically the finale.
Yeah, I'm basically good until they get rid of John Rhys Davis.
We should we should create a big list of TV shows and then like do like live commentary for like one episode of each show. That could be some YouTube exclusive stuff, maybe.
You know what bugs me is that they never brought John Rhys Davis back, because after they killed John Rhys Davis, they actually left a way to bring John Rhys Davis back.
They didn't have the money.
Was he
Who has John Rhys Davis money?
Was he too busy being Leonardo da Vinci on Voyager?
Possibly. I don't know. He's great. He's great in everything he does.
He is.
I've actually never seen a bad thing that John Rhys Davies has done.
I really did enjoy the gravitas that he brought to the show. I loved his interaction with Jerry O'Connell. It was Chris O'Connell. Still angry. Sorry. But did I say O'Connell? Damn it. Family Guy?
No. Jerry O'Connell was the original. Chris O'Donnell was the other one. Chris O'Donnell was Robin.
Yes. I was watching Family Guy and they were making fun of him right before we started. Sorry.
I was thinking about what his name was. Thank you. Was Chris O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell, the third Robin, who still had to have like a guardian.
The Teen Titans Robin, who, he's no Chris O'Donnell, is what I'm going to say. Or Chris O'Connell.
Anyway, moving on.
Here's his nipples. That's all I got to say.
That's the bisexual Charlie Esser at Charlie Esser.
Send me your pictures.
Oh no!
Slides into the DMs.
Oh no! Oh.
So I just found a Smallville roleplay game. Like I was, I buy collectibles every now and then. I was trolling eBay, and I was just like,
"We need to play that."
Yeah, I'm gonna order it. And
Tyler's in for that. That's like his favorite show.
I know. I was trying to stock up on the stuff for Smallville that I didn't have. Like there's a couple of the tie-in novels that I don't have, and I just happened to start. I was like, how do I not know about this? It looks weird. It's from like after you can play as like Zod, I think it was. I was reading, and you can play as Lois and Chloe and Green Arrow.
I think every Superman franchise goes downhill once they introduce Zod.
Well, actually, I loved when they introduced Zod in Smallville. Was it Cullen Blue? I think his name was. I really enjoyed what they did with it, but I loved when they brought in Jor-El as. How far did you go all the way with Smallville, guys?
Yeah,
I mean, I saw them all.
Yeah. So I actually liked when they did that. Like it was actually a downturn in the scripts, yes, but I like the concept of it. Execution was a little rough.
Well, I actually think that Zod in Smallville was better than most Zods because he's not like a straight up villain.
Well, he was fleshed out.
What?
Too.
Yeah.
I think the problem with Zod anymore is like he's like the new Lex Luthor. Anything Superman, they're like, oh, we have to have General Zod.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Zod, even in the books,
in the movies, he can only be one-dimensional because it's a movie. They only have limited time. Whereas a TV show, you can flesh it out, give him his actual motivations, and you can almost feel sympathy for him as well. Especially when they were talking about, the culture of Krypton, and you can see why he is the way that he is.
Kneel before
I think that's
Zod.
one of the things that they shy away from it sometimes in the Superman scripts is talking about how messed up Kryptonian culture was.
They got into it. It's Smallville for a little bit because they get into it with how Jor-El wanted him to.
Because I think that Smallville really took a moment to say, you know what, maybe these guys, and that for what it's worth is borrowing from what Byrne did in his Man of Steel, where he basically gives this idea that, you know, maybe Kal-El and Lara aren't the nicest people. They're like these colonizers sending their Superman to Earth, thinking he's going to dominate their planet.
Rule.
They're Christopher Columbus.
You could be a god under their yellow sun.
Yeah, but he gets raised by these kindly old Kansans who teach him, right and wrong and basic, New Deal morality of, we help each other, we work together, we are a commune, brother. Which Red Sun made a lot of sense.
Much to a lot of people's chagrin.
Red Sun made sense because it had that idea of you raise someone in that democratic socialistic ideal of that New Deal era, but then you have corrupt influence perverting that to their own end.
Oh, yes.
You still get a Superman who does overthrow Stalin, who does rule justly, but who at the same time has been corrupted by that lust for power that New Deal socialism implies. Just as every other system that he's raised in, there are always those people who are evil, but because he was raised by that evil, like if as they did in Superboy, and they go to that mirror universe where he was raised by this old political power broker, and he becomes the sovereign.
That's right.
Exactly. Superboy Sovereign, man. I love that episode. That's one of my favorites. I love this.
A lot of people forget about that poor Superboy TV series, but I thought it was great. But it was that 90s cheese that kind of a lot of people stayed away from.
Well, you know what? It had one of my favorite Mexoplex of the live action Mexoplexes. I think that was one of the best ones. Him and Bizarro became best buddies. I like that.
James Marsters as Brainiac or nothing, or rewrite it.
He was a good Brainiac. I liked him as Brainiac,
Yeah.
And it's nice to see Spike getting work, as I always say.
Exactly. But yeah, so when we're gonna play it, I was just letting you guys know we're gonna be doing Smallville roleplay one of these days whenever it comes.
Nice.
I'm up for it, man.
Yes.
I'll roleplay anything.
Have you ever done any tabletop role playing, Phil?
Yeah, like back in junior high and high school, we did some role playing. There's actually some Marvel's role play floating around out there somewhere.
Yeah, there's a couple of good ones actually.
Yeah,
the ones that I'm thinking of from like 2007.
No,
it's around here somewhere. Yeah, it's from like 2007.
But
yeah.
What DC? Do they have what? You kind of cut out there. So what do you have there?
I forget which one, the Marvel one it is, but it's from 2007. It's pretty decent.
Do they have some DC too, or?
Not as good though, because you have to depower, how you have to depower the characters kind of takes away from the gameplay for me. It's just like all these little things.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're dealing with the main characters, it's always hard. It's like with the first Marvel role play back in the 80s, and they gave a level to the Hulk, and then you could game that level. And you could beat the Hulk.
Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You have to depower the Hulk, depower Superman, because otherwise it's like, oh, here, Hulk, Superman, I kill everybody.
Yeah.
And basically, what that is just to keep the DMs from being jerks. And basically, what it is say, and you open the door, and it's Tiamat. Tiamat's behind the door that you just opened. Sorry. Now it's Tiamat, and it just, and because they knew that DMs were every time you open a door, it's the Hulk, or it's Superman, or even it's Bizarro, or the Abomination, or any of these guys, because they knew that the DMs were going to throw these at these poor player characters. Because they know DMs often are jerks.
Charlie, what does...
I'm laughing because that was me all day, every day.
Charlie, what does DM stand for?
Well, I'm sorry, it's GM. DM is copyrighted. DM is copyrighted.
Well, what's GM? I know DM.
Game Master. DM is Dungeon Master. You're only a DM.
You walked right into it.
You're only a DM if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like I said, it's not like it's an insult. I don't know why. It's like yes, rallying cry. You know. That's what I say as I charge into battle. That is my spoon. Yes, so technically you're only a DM if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. Every other game, you're a GM. You're a game master. Now, when I was a game master, I was all about having fun with so I'm actually like the benevolent god game master.
Back in my day, Tristan, we only had 20-sided dice.
No, we had 100-sided dice in my day. I don't mind it.
Like, I'm not that old, Phil.
And mostly I played 10-sided die because I like 10-sided die. Because I broke my teeth mostly on Vampire, which is a totally 10-sided die game, which I like. Because it's nice. It's basically, it's metric gaming.
Oh, yes.
I like that. But as a game master, I was a very benevolent god, which means you really never died. I'd put you in trouble, but I always if you were that bad at your characters, I gave you the protagonist. I gave you the shield of the protagonist.
Bazinga.
And so usually my games got very, very much, very fourth wall breaky, where dice would fall on characters, or I'd banish characters to Anvil Land all the time, which is a place where you would, when a character was being disruptive, you fall through a dimensional portal. Now you're in Anvil Land, which is a place where anvils rain from the skies.
I thought we were talking about bad CW writing, where they hit you in the head with an anvil every 5 minutes. Sorry.
Well, that's where I got it, because when I was big into gaming, Animaniacs were big, and they loved the anvils in Animaniacs.
Oh, I love Animaniacs. Man, that soundtrack is amazing.
It was very well written. There's a lot of great artists out there in the underappreciated workman's world of cartoon music making, you know?
So true.
You think about how many where that comes from is from the Second City tradition of music and comedy being merged. So a lot of people who get their training in comedy get a lot of musical education, especially if they're going through the Second City School. I don't know if Upright Citizens Brigade does the same. I imagine they don't, because they're awful, because they're not Second City. You can guess which
shots fired at Charlie
I went to, because I'm old, and we didn't have an Upright Citizens Brigade in my day. We had Second City.
No, that's nothing. I do think that Second City is superior. I've never really been into.
Well, but again, like I said, I think that Second City always made a point to incorporate music. Music is and you see any of the old. Oh, you ever see Second City's Julius Caesar the musical? It's from the first group of Second City back in the day, and they showed a video of it to me once, and it's like the original Second City, like the original, not like SCTV, but I can't remember any of their names, but the really old school guys. Eugene Levy was one of them, and it was okay. But it was right at the time that West Side Story came out. It's all you need with Shakespeare is to give it a who wrote the music for West Side Story? I'm blanking on it. It wasn't Rodgers and Hammerstein. But basically give it a jazz up tempo, and that's how you do Shakespeare. And so they did they took the West Side Story concept, put it onto the tragedy of Julius Caesar, and then set it in on the waterfront. And it is first off, it works as a freaking beautiful play. And it also has comedy, and it has great music, and it is just this beautiful thing. Because as when I went to Second City, they were saying about how music and comedy, it's all about timing. And you have to understand music and the rhythm of music to understand how to do proper comedy or to do improv. Because you can do dramatic improv, but it's still all about the timing. It's knowing about how to time your scene and your moment and your character through. Because if you don't have good timing, you can't tell a story.
So true. As you watch TV in this landscape nowadays, it's so true.
Yeah.
But speaking of TV, we can reveal the Charlie Esther. Lilith, you said you did see the mid-season finale of Lucifer.
I did.
Where they revealed who Tom Welling is. playing, yes.
We all saw it coming.
Who is
I knew we had a secret. He is Cain of Cain and Abel.
Oh, good old Cain. Cursed to live
Our first murderer.
Forced to be immortal and live forever.
Yeah, which isn't really
even after
in the
Lucifer
Bible.
stabbed him in the chest.
But yeah, well, that's fine. That's cool. That's a cool twist. Oh, you know what? That was actually one of mine. Yeah. No, I've always been fascinated by that idea of Cain who lives forever.
Supernatural did it first, and Supernatural did it better.
The seventh seal did it better. Or I'm sorry, the seventh sign.
Lilith and her supernatural.
Yeah, as a Spin fan, I'm obligated to say that, even if I don't mean it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I mean the idea of the guy cursed with immortality. First off, okay, you know who did it the best?
Who's that?
Marvel Comics, Redbeard, Conan the Barbarian, Color Comics. The warrior cursed never died. He only never died for like a week, but you could see how much of a heck it was for him. And he eventually does get to die like 6 issues later, but you can see just that idea that what if you couldn't die? And it goes back to something we're talking about in superconnectivity. And when Death was killed by the Beyonder.
Secret Wars 2.
Secret Wars 2, the best of them all. And right up there with Superman 3. Of all the Secret War 2 was the best. And I'm counting that weird Nick Fury Secret War that wasn't even a Secret War. How do you have a Secret War without a Beyonder? That doesn't even make sense. But in Secret Wars 2, when basically the Beyonder decides to be a force for life, and he realizes the only way I can be a true force for life is to kill Death. And so Beyonder reaches out to Death, and Death is like, yeah, sure, what the heck, I'll die. I've never died before. That might be fun. And he creates this thing to kill Death, puts all of his power into a glass, and when Death drinks it, it'll die. And of course, all the cosmic forces align to say, the Beyonder, you cannot kill Death. And this guy, who's the Beyonder's buddy at that point, says, shut up, you stupid esoteric concepts. You don't even know what death is. You don't know what it is like to be mortal. Death is a horror for us. If he ends death, that is our blessing. And so the Beyonder kills Death. And the Beyonder says to him, listen to me. If I kill Death, I can't bring her back. That's pretty much 90% of my power in that glass. But I'll kill Death if you think that's what I should do. And he kills Death. And then of course, the Molecule Man shows up and says, Frank, what the heck did you do? Says, these flowers should be dead. And even with all my power, I can't kill them. And says, and what can I eat now? What are we supposed to eat? Rocks? Without death, there is no purpose to the universe. And then the guy goes like, oh man, I just realized death actually is important. So, and then the Beyonder says, well, listen to me. I could bring Death back, but you're going to have to be Death now. Basically, it's not even that I have to kill something. It's like you, in a very real sense, have to become the seed of Death. And he makes this ad sales guy from Iowa become Death, but he accepts it. And that's why Death is so chatty now, because he's actually a guy from Iowa. Even though he's always portrayed as a woman. Because maybe he was a little bit, maybe he was a bit queer in himself. It's like, hey, if I could choose any form, maybe I'm going to choose a female form. As Q once said to Picard, had I known you were that affected by female forms, that's the form I would have chosen. Because clearly you, Mabel's got a weird thing with this whole gender stuff. Anyway.
Here.
Wait, Lilith, what about The Gifted?
It's kind of disappointing in their mid-season finale.
They locked the Strucker twins in an adamantium vault and
nearly indestructible room.
Oh, they almost punched through. They dented that adamantium when they held hands.
They have the key.
Talk about awkward brother-sister relationships.
Type 2 adamantium. Can we just say that right now?
What?
That's that cheap, lousy adamantium that they pawn off.
You know what? You're right, because it's a pseudo-government facility.
You shut your mouth, Bob.
That's like real adamantium clockwork in this, for 1995.
Well, no, they did. They shouted out that they got it from some top secret military facility, Weapon X.
Yeah, but
exactly.
No, but if they're denting it, it's not real adamantium. I'm just saying, it's not. It's type 2 adamantium.
But yeah, I mean, I'm eager to see it when it comes back because I mean, things just got escalated. But that girl, so it's doing the psychic people for the top telepaths for Wade's World.
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna mention the Bennett triplets. Well, they used to be 5, now they're triplets. Yeah, the Stepford Cuckoos. Now that's they brought them in. I was like, no way. She's got an army. She's gonna mind control. This is gonna be awesome.
I said now that deal's going through, maybe next season we can get an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Gifted crossover.
I doubt they would go that far though, but it would be awesome if they did.
Well, I mean, it would be neat. The only problem is that it's. I mean, I think the established universes are a little too differentiated. You know, I mean that unless of course you just Wavium it. Wavium. Well, that you not see. These are not. This is not the continuity you're looking for.
Well, that's what we said. Now in the MCU,
greater than humans.
Now, well, that's what we were saying. Now in the MCU, they can use the M word.
Yeah,
so that's another nail in the Inhumans coffin.
You know what? You could bring the Inhumans back.
Just
not in the form we've seen already.
No, not those guys.
No. Oh, that would be so great if we get a good Fantastic Four movie now and they have the Inhumans in it and they're like, what about those? Wasn't that other guy Black Bolt? And he's like, and they're like, no, not that not that poser.
Well, they wouldn't actually.
They were all fakes.
Usurper. Yeah, usurper.
What you'll see him in his freaking mask.
Yes, and you'll see a Medusa with hair.
Did they really shave it just to cut down on the special effects?
They must have. They shaved it in the first episode and never grew back.
They're like, oh, you thought you were the hair effects? Oh,
I was waiting for the last episode for it to spontaneously grow back in a matter of minutes, and I was like, no.
That was for season 2.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
No, I said that was. Yeah. It wasn't after the word.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was.
I was gonna say, even the people who made that show, do you think they were like, "Oh yeah, we're getting a season 2"?
Well, I mean,
Buck got
season
2.
I mean, well, is he
Iron Fist? Season 2. They should get a season 2.
They had to pick their battles.
Where's Buck gonna show up next? Warner?
Okay, I want Buck and Mark Guggenheim to work together, off in China somewhere.
I was gonna say, don't be Buck in our Arrowverse. No,
it'd be an improvement at this point. Sad to say.
Well, like I said, I'm sure Buck's got accusations waiting for him.
# we got bucked. yeah. He inappropriately groped Iron Fist and Humans.
You know, that guy, he is not, you know.
He he grabbed the butt of Iron Fist and Inhumans.
Moving along, did anybody read any interesting comic books this week?
Oh, yes. We were discussing comics on Super Connectivity. Lilith, Charlie actually read Red Hood and the Outlaws, although he calls it Bizarro and the Outlaws.
It's Bizarro and the Outlaws. I don't know why this Red Hood guy's getting.
You would.
Who is this Red Hood guy? He's one of 6 Robins.
He's like, I can't keep these Robins straight. I told you, it's Robin number 2 who got beat to death by the Joker.
You know what? If you need a brief refresher, go find the specials we did for Robin. Countdown to our favorite Robin. Remember? We did.
World's Finest.
Mm-hmm. It's somewhere around here.
There's only one Robin. His name is Dick Grayson.
That's right! I've trained him well.
False. Sorry. It'd be Tim Drake.
Yeah, well, actually, I was about to say there's only one Robin. His name is Burt Ward, but...
But, wait, do you like Tim Drake better than Dick Grayson?
No, Susan, I'm just messing with you.
I was going to say, I know you like Dick.
Yeah, I do. It's true.
Anyway,
no joke.
So, I mean, would you be interested in pursuing this book on a monthly basis, Charlie?
I don't know if any DC book is ever going to have the strength to really carry me through.
Superman let him down.
Superman let me down.
I feel you. He let me down too. He's let me down on numerous occasions.
And New Superman, I mean, I'm like, I want to keep going with it, but I'm like a little, I mean, it's neat. Here's the thing. I got into it because of the Flowers for Bizarro. And I like what they're maybe implying for Flowers for Bizarro right now, which is that the issue is that actually it's not that he's going to become dumb. It's that intelligence is going to make him evil. And that when he sees himself and he says, this am not forever, it's not him saying you're going to become dumb. It's like you're going to lose the good heart that makes being a Superman worthwhile.
Well, that's what I said. It could happen because who jacked up his intelligence? Lex
Luthor, yeah. And so I could imagine that is a
and
very
he's no benevolent game master, sir.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, he's no
Luthor's no benevolent game master.
Yes. I'm very benevolent when so if you ever play with me, and when I play D&D with the kids, because I've played D&D with John and Tristan a couple times, and it's like every time they walk into the Dragon's Belly, it's like, oh, okay, you got pooped out. It's like, because it's like, I'm not going to kill you guys because you're kids, but it's like, learn that maybe you shouldn't trust the questionable villagers,
I liked Red Hood and the Outlaws, but it actually wasn't my favorite book this week.
Oh, what was?
For the DC side. It's kind of a toss-up, honestly. I got Blue Beetle, so
okay,
yeah. And there was also a DC House of her one shot, Jamie Reyes.
Oh,
but also Ted Kord is in there too, so it's a lot of good, interesting stuff. It's pretty fun. If you were into Young Justice and you were sad about the short change, I really feel like they did take a lot of that characterization and put it into this book. And it's not like how it was at the end of New 52. It's so much better. So, yeah. I've been really enjoying Blue Beetle.
Well, you said it was a toss-up, so what was the other book?
I actually picked up Black Lightning 1 and 2. It's a limited series.
I read the first one, yeah.
One's much better to me.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. The first one, I was just like, I don't know if this is a great introduction. Then the second one kind of picks up a little more.
Okay, I might have to.
I'm willing to see it through. I don't know if it's going to be like some weird surprise twist into the actual TV show.
I mean, is this supposed to be tied into the TV show or?
Tied into the TV show at all. I guess they figured since they were doing a TV show, it was time to reintroduce Black Lightning into the main continuity. But it doesn't seem like it's tied into the show at all.
Mm-mm.
Which is
all
good.
I can say is he's no Black Vulcan.
Oh, I miss those days.
And prosper.
Yeah.
No, not Star Trek Discovery.
Hashtag no Star Trek. No Star Trek.
No, the Black Vulcan was on Voyager, but
no wonder I don't know. It's my least favorite Star Trek.
You shut your mouth, fight me, nerd.
I told you, Next Generation.
He started on Law and Order, and then he wound up on Voyager. And he got replaced by the white lady and he felt very upset about that because he felt that it was a.
Are you talking about 7 and 9 or?
Wait, no. On Law and Order.
Law and Order.
Tupac started on Law and Order. He was the original assistant DA.
Bum bum.
And then under the Moriarty years, and then they brought in the first white lady, and then they kept all white ladies from then on as the assistant DAs. Until the last season when they brought in another white guy. And he was like, it was kind of weird because they kind of treated it like, well, hey, yeah, we're getting rid of a black guy, but we can just bring in a white woman. And we still have a quota. We're still hitting a quota of a minority. Again, 51% of the population is considered a minority casting.
Law and Order, an NBC property.
Yeah, Dick Wolf. I'm sure he's got accusers in the wings.
Shut your mouth.
They all do, Lilith. I'm sorry.
I know. It's just who had the better payoff, I guess, at this point.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, you know what it is? And here's what I'm going to say. You know what it is? Because this is something when Mario Batali's stuff came down. And I was thinking about all of the stuff I hear about kitchen culture. And having been in kitchen culture in my life, I know what they're talking about. It's a very body culture. And I think about acting culture. And as an actor, I've been in that culture. It's a very body culture. And what happens is that in that culture of kitchen culture, acting culture, etc., predators find a way that they can hide their predation as, hey, it's just the culture. And what happens is these guys like Weinstein, like Patali, whatever, they start stepping over the culture. Whereas most people in that culture are like, hey, let's just be crazy body Rocky Horror Picture Show. And then someone starts saying, forgets that, Brad says yes in Rocky Horror. Janet says yes in Rocky Horror. That Frank is a seducer. He's not a predator. He is someone who is going to sit there and say, hey, I'm just here. And he may use duplicity and whatnot, but he makes it clear who he is before anything happens. And then everyone else says, and that's the culture of that world. But there are people who will say, hey, our culture is this, and now you better acquiesce, because we're saying that's our culture. And so too long, these people have hidden behind the culture of the lech, as I've said. And lechers need to establish themselves as no, because lechery is about consent. Only consent is sexy, because you don't want to be with someone who doesn't want to be there. You want someone that wants to be there moment, just like Frank and Rocky and Brad and Janet and Little Nell, all in that moment, just having fun.
Oh, yes.
Doing it and being it.
I do have a Marvel recommendation if anybody cares.
Sure, what's your Marvel recommendation?
Let me pick myself.
Jean Grey #10.
Oh, yeah.
Which brings it back to Gifted, because the Cuckoos were in this one too. And it also had Hope Summers and Quentin Quire. So I was just like, yeah.
I didn't read it, but I read I read the spoilers.
Oh, Philip.
Oh, please, like you and Arrow now. I just read.
Yeah, I just get the synopsis from Reddit and I just run with it. Take my highlights.
Doesn't Quentin Quire have the Phoenix Force now, or at least a portion of it?
He was.
Yeah, I think that's the point, because they're prepping for the Phoenix return right now.
The resurrection.
Yeah. I mean, he basically eats the Phoenix. You watch Quentin. Is that the humans wind up dominating the universe because the force of life in the universe decided to seed itself on that planet, and that's why everyone hates it, because they're the one Mom liked best.
But spoiler alert, Lilith doesn't.
That's the entire Marvel universe in a nutshell.
Everyone
hates Earth best.
Isn't the spoiler that this Phoenix Force seems to like fry young Jean Grey, like kill her? So are they getting rid of those young X-Men, or are we just?
Yeah, I hope so. Oh, sorry. I shouldn't be rooting for that, but they kind of suck, and we need to make room for 10 more X-Men teams. So why not?
Because here's what I'll say: they're not getting rid of them.
They're gonna put them back in the past. I mean, we're talking about X-Men Blue. They're bouncing through time right now.
A different timeline.
Yeah, exactly. We won't visit them for another 10 years. It'll be fine.
Next one, I love those X-Men. I'm bringing them all back now. Because I'm going to say the timelines have finally synced.
One of these days it'll happen.
Well, of course it happens. That's why no one, just like in Scarlet Spider this week, where they're talking about the Black Marvel being alive, because you'd be surprised how many people are there to make things happen.
I mean, Black Marvel back in the 98, 99, he was working, he was kind of making deals with Mephisto. So, I mean, Mephisto could resurrect him,
And of course, that's the whole shit. That's the whole point of black magic. No costs. Except.
There's always a cost.
There's always a cost. Just ask Prince Monaco and his drowned rabbits.
Wait. There's always a cost. Thank you.
That's our next T-shirt.
There's always a cost.
Dun 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 in parentheses.
Or I was gonna say, where Phil's a ham.
Well, just there's always a cost. There we go. Or that we could meme that. The set comes from Phil's face, and there's always a cost.
Oh wait. Lilith, did you read Amazing Spider-Man? It was part of Venom Inc.
I haven't gotten to it yet. It's around here, but I haven't gotten to it.
Okay.
I haven't gotten to it either. I do plan to read it. It's just,
I still haven't watched the Arrow mid-season finale. Like, I can't bring myself to do it. I get
Felicity is in a garbage can. How is that not your jam?
I mean, I got the screen cap and the GIF. That's all I need. I don't know that I can power through the first 10 minutes of that episode.
Oh, their wedding reception.
I just can't do it.
Which they don't invite any Flash people to. Okay.
Because she's a selfish cow.
Yeah, but let's not forget that, the original
she's a villain.
Jay Garrett didn't get invited to the Flash's wedding either.
True.
He doesn't want anything to do with Barry anymore.
But Mick
too. He's like,
Mick crashed. He didn't really get invited. He's just there.
He was comedic relief.
Yeah.
And he brought 40. Hey, he brought 40 toasters, man. He paid for himself. He might have ate all the crab legs, but he brought 40 toasters.
Fire sale, buddy. Fire sale. How legends the gift.
And who caused the fire, Lilith? Who caused the fire?
All day, every day. No doubt in my mind.
We didn't start the fire. It's always been burned while the world's been turning.
Or it's Springfield. Fire.
Does anyone watch the Goldbergs?
No.
I actually haven't.
I should, though, because it's 80s. It's like 80s. For what I understand, it's 80s.
Lilith could be like, that's when I was born.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually watched the ABC lineup this week, and I hadn't watched any of these shows in forever. I was like, oh hey, the Goldbergs was actually really fun.
Charlie's like, they have something besides Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Cool. Actually, I don't watch ABC. The only thing I really watch on ABC is The Middle.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That's still on. God bless Patricia Heaton. I love her, but I never could get into The Middle.
I love The Middle because, you see, I grew up in that family, that kind of family. I grew up that, and my kids are living that now, but the city version of it,
Did you stick around for Fresh Off the Boat, or is Fresh Off the Boat not on that lineup anymore?
No, Fresh Off the Boat's there. I did watch. I think I might have been pulled into something else with Fresh Off the Boat.
Because that's 90s, as far as I remember. I remember Goldbergs were 80s, and then they had Fresh Off the Boat for the 90s Asian immigrant families that can relate to that.
I like Fresh Off the Boat. Fresh Off the Boat is always good. It's got some great actors on it and great storytelling.
Yeah, it's based off of Eddie Hong's life, I guess.
Well,
sort of, kind of, according to the controversy, maybe not so much after all.
Well, what I'll say is Eddie Hong is happy to cash the paycheck. And, but no, it's not his life in any conceivable way.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, I saw that.
Because, they took liberties with it. Because basically what it is, there was another Asian writer who wanted to tell his family story. And they said,
it must be like the Margaret Cho TV show. Remember when that happened?
That was good. I like American Girl.
Shots fired.
Yes.
I liked it. I didn't think it was.
I love Margaret Cho. She's my jam. And that show was just like, oh, I prefer your stand-up, lady. Don't ever let them censor you again. And she didn't.
Apart from her stand-up in that. They had the porn.
Very sanitized.
Well, it wasn't. They didn't have Showtime sitcoms back then.
She just missed out. She just held on a little longer.
Well, they did have Dream On HBO at that point, but which has not been re-released. Why is, of all the things not being rebooted, why is Dream On not being rebooted?
HBO is weird like that. It's really hard to find, unless it's Game of Thrones. It's really hard to find stuff. They don't do anything for Deadwood.
Well, I know with Dream On, because it had a lot of clips from old shows and old movies.
Maybe it's
all kinds of rights issues. Yeah, because I was talking about Dream On. I was always flashing back to these TV shows.
Oh, it was the original Ready Player One. Awesome.
Okay, I don't know what Ready Player One is, except I know that it's a movie coming out. But yes,
it's a book that got made into
Okay. Yeah, I assumed it was something before it became a new thing.
Lilith, should we read? I know we talked about this before. Should we read Ready Player One for the book clubs? Because Lilith Hellfire has set a goal for herself. What, 140 books you want to read this year?
104.
2018? Oh, 104.
Yeah, 104. Because it's twice. It's double 52.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because most people try to read a book a week. So mine.
Overachiever. She's like, I'm going to do 2.
I'll give you a couple good ones to add to your list.
Okay.
Vulcan's Glory. No, it's a good one. It's by who was the lady who wrote all the good Star Trek episodes? I forget her name. She and her husband wrote a bunch of them, but Vulcan's Glory is great.
As far as canon can be for that, or
well, I mean, it's a novel. No novel is officially canon until it goes into a movie or TV show. But it's here's what I'll say: it's set in the Pike universe where they never revisit, so it's as canon as anything.
Okay. It's like being technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. I got you.
Exactly. Thank you, Hermes Conrad.
fellow Futurama nerd. Hello, good sir.
Oh, please. You think I'm not a Futurama? Please, yes. No, but Vulcan's Glory, it's fantastic. Because it's about like an early line. When Montgomery Scott first comes aboard as a junior engineer, and there's like a little subplot with him like building his steel in the warp drive, because this was back before they had synthahol, so you had to like have wine if you were on the ship. Oh, it's fantastic. That's like such a small B plot. The big plot is like there's this gigantic emerald called Vulcan's Glory that's like your MacGuffin of the thing. You know, this whole idea of I don't want to give you spoilers, but it's really good. I think you actually get Spock and T'Pril's first like meeting or something in it, if I recall correctly, or he meets another Vulcan in it that he kind of like feels like shame because he knows he's promised to T'Pril, and you know.
Come on,
it's a good one. Vulcan's Glory. Why can't I not remember her name?
Yeah, we need to put some Trek on the list.
But Vulcan's Glory. Strike Zone is my Peter David reference. I'll always give that one. If you've never read Brave New World, I'd add that to the list.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Time Machine, I assume you've had? Okay, so don't worry about those guys. But then
I'm going to make you read some Voyager novels.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Not to fill out the list, but yeah, it's 104 books. I don't know what I was thinking about. Because I'm down to 3 hours of TV a week, so why not?
Well, what I'll tell you is that Star Trek novels do read fun and quick and enjoyable. You know, I've only read a few of them, but and the one with the Squire of Gothos and Q, that's a good one. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Q2, but I could be mistaken.
I think they have a couple Q ones, I think. So I think I read another Q one years ago. That was
Yeah, I was gonna say.
But definitely put Vulcan's Glory on the list. You will not regret it. If I was going to give one book recommendation, it would be Vulcan's Glory.
Awesome.
Yes, and then so there we go. Aside from that, I'm a big fan of Vampire Lestat, but that's
yes.
I've read everything Anne Rice has ever written, even under her other pseudonym. So.
Oh, Anne Rampling, yes.
Oh, but I love Vampire Lestat. That should be something we should do for book club. Yes.
Yes. They say how we were robbed in that damn movie. Pretty much robbed of Lestat himself. So. Yeah. It's a shame.
Wait, I'm sorry. Was there a Vampire Lestat movie?
Well, Queen of the Damned has parts of Lestat in it.
Yeah.
Very loosely.
No, Interview with the Vampire was the movie. Then they did the directed DVD versions.
No, Queen of the Damned was in the movie.
Queen of the Damned was in the movies, yeah.
Well, it was in the movies in the way most direct-to-DVD films are in the movies. Queen of the Damned wasn't a big release. Queen of the Damned was not. I mean, maybe it did okay, but that was.
They smashed too much together. Like they put like 3 different books into the movie. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And Stuart Townsend.
I know it didn't have the short guy as Lestat.
Tom Cruise.
Stuart Townsend as Lestat, who is not a thing anymore. Because he broke up with Charlize Theron.
When you switch the lead between what should be the third film and the second, and the first film, that's not an official. That's not canon. That's what I'm going to say.
Well, you had to young it up a little bit,
Yeah.
I thought
was
like 70. Don't look at me like that.
I thought he did a good Lestat. He did a Lestat because here's the thing. She imagined Lestat as an actual, late Renaissance prince. Out in the woods. She was imagining like Arnold Schwarzenegger as Lestat, but a better actor. you know, like a Lou Ferrigno caliber actor. You know, and so she was a little off on Tom Cruise, but I thought Tom Cruise really sold the role.
Well, and that's the beauty of Tom Cruise, especially in the late 80s, early 90s. Anything you saw Tom Cruise in, you wanted to be. You wanted to be the bartender. You wanted to be the pilot. I'll give Tom Cruise that, but anything past Mission Impossible 2?
It's risky business.
Yeah, well, you know, he's gotten too into himself. And you know what? He's gotten rid of all his thetans. That's the problem. Those thetans serve a purpose. They wouldn't evolutionary exist.
He's still not a level 7?
I think he's completely out of...
Nope,
thetans are the bad things, right?
At Charlie Esther, at Nightwing PDP. Nope. Y'all ain't gonna have the Scientology people after me. My name is James Smith.
I love our Scientology overlords.
You need
I wish I could be in Scientology. Give me a career.
They're a little creepy. I don't know, man. You know, honestly, that's like saying, "Hey, Mephisto, sure, I'll take your deal."
Oh, it's not like it's an Alice and Max sex cult.
With Blackheart.
We have to talk about that one day, but I can't talk because I'm in Tampa, which Clearwater is like their new Earth mothership. So I can't.
I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying they're bad people. You know, here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm a Roman Catholic. We got our people who cover up stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, doesn't mean that we're bad people. It just means that there are people among us who've done bad things.
Oh, yes.
So that's what I'll say about Scientology. What I'm going to say about this idea of the quest for that pure soul is it's going to rob you of what makes you a good actor. And what makes you a good actor is the ability to communicate and connect with human beings. And you need to have that frailty and that weakness inside you to be a good actor. If he is now at that higher level and gotten rid of whatever it is that Scientologists say you get rid of to attain their level of nirvana, then I think that's going to affect his acting. I think he's probably too good a Scientologist to be a great actor anymore. See how I turn that all the way around?
All the way around.
It's about Scientology, but it's really just about the cult of acting. I bet you if Tom Cruise sees this, he's going to be like, damn, is that my problem? Am I too well-centered and adjusted now? Fudge.
He's not that good old Kentucky boy anymore.
I need to
exactly. You gotta be. You know. You gotta. He's got. He lost his good old boy, not meaning no harm vibe anymore.
All right, we're down to the Dukes of Hazzard. I think we're done for the night.
Definitely.
Always got to come back to the Dukes. Bo and Luke, never Vance and Coy.
Salute. All right, let's get out of here then. If you want to comment about anything we discussed tonight, because we discussed everything, email us, capesandlunatics@gmail.com. The voicemail, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, subscribe to YouTube, subscribe to the podcast, because we have some specials coming up. I mean, we have the YouTube exclusive stuff here, but...
click the bell.
That's right. Hit that bell. And we have specials coming up next 2 Saturdays. We have our Christmas special and our New Year's special with some special guests from other podcasts.
So eggnog is encouraged, right?
Sure, Lilith. Eggnog.
A special eggnog and maybe a hot toddy. Who knows?
Well, if anyone would like Grandma's eggnog recipe, where can they get that from you, Lilith?
You can follow me on Twitter when the gift comes back at Lil Hellfire. For everything else, at Adventures in FG. That's Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Adventures in FG. And check out my website, adventuresinfangirling.com. And I want to encourage you guys to go ahead and head over to southgatemediagroup.com and click on some affiliate links to help keep this network.
Yes.
Patronage is appreciated.
There we go.
And the sexy bisexual Roman Catholic Charlie Esser. Where can people talk to you?
Bring on Richard Burton. That's a reference to Grandma's spicy eggnog sketch. Look it up on YouTube, kids. You'll love it. You can always write to me that old-fashioned email way, the way our Moms and Pops once said, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet, not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because we ran long tonight. at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser with my cracking voice totally off tune. Look for the 2 E's right there in the middle, which is for the quality.
Nerd! Alrighty, that has been your Capes and Lunatics for this week.
Is that the name of the episode? Nerd?
There should be. But, all right, for another week, this has been the Capes.
Ampersand.
Lunatics.
Yeah! We actually sound like we know what we're doing anymore.
Boo.
Sometimes.
Lilith Asian chaos. She's like, boo!
Chaos is overrated.
So is structure.
More chaotic than
That's why I believe in the simple heat death of the universe. Imagine every bit of quantum dust, equidistant from itself, static for all eternity. It is inevitable, and it will be peaceful.
There it goes.
That's what she said.